this is something that boils my blood, and we see it, and I'm a social media guy all over social media. But these darn kids are out there with them street takeovers, man. Cars spinning out, burning rubber in these intersections, and then they're posting it up there. And that is just, it's a cancer because it continues to go more and more and more. They're getting views, so there's bigger, they go over the top, getting to a point where it's becoming violent, right?
Right.
Where they have shootings, they're assaulting officers. So these things are happening, and as a community member, and somebody watching, also a law enforcement officer, right? But I'm looking at it from a community side. It portrays the South Florida, Miami-Dade County area as almost getting lawless, right? You got these officers here that are having a tough time controlling it, right? So as sheriff, how do you plan on coming in and handling these knuckleheads?
See, when I was a district commander for Northwest District, we had this issue on Okeechobee. Mm-hmm. So they'll come out on Okeechobee and drag race down in the middle of the night, down the curve, all the way down to the turnpike. And what we did back then was it was a twofold attack. One, again, using the resources of the community, using the resources available to us, i.e. using the Florida Highway Patrol, using other agencies like Hialeah Gardens in that area. Mm-hmm. We took proactive approach to stop it from occurring. But at the same time, all we're doing is moving it from location to location. So they'll go somewhere where there's no cops.
Right.
We need to find an outlet for them to do that. So the second thing that what's going on back then was that the old Opelika West Airport, which is by US 27 down by County Line, mm-hmm. which is abandoned, they converted it to allow these individuals to drag race on that surface that was controlled.
It was Beat the Heat, right?
I don't remember what it was called, but it was controlled.
Yeah.
And I was very outspoken about that to make sure that there was the safety necessary so no one would get hurt.
Right.
But at least got them off the streets and gave them an area where they can do their activities.
Right.
So that's something, it should be a two-pronged approach. Number one, working on taking proactive approach to get them off our streets. And the only way we're going to do that is by looking at social media, looking how they get their messages out, trying to get somebody from the inside to get where the next location is going to be at so we can stop it. But at the same time, you need to give them an outlet because they're going to do it no matter what. The question is where they're going to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you do give them the outlet, at least you look like, hey, I'm giving you this,
but in a safe, controlled area.
Right, but have you seen some of those tricks they've been doing?
Which is,
I mean, it's more so like just it's getting more brazen, right? So the time of day now is like they're doing it middays and things like that. But they're standing around the intersection, and you got people recording,
right?
And they're getting really close to these cars. So it's not like back in the day where they used to drag race, right? And they go. No, now it's like they're putting on a show, cars spinning. And recently they lit a whole Jeep Wrangler. They had a stolen Jeep Wrangler, put it in the middle of the intersection, threw gas on it, lit it up on fire, and then they did donuts around. They're just for social media views, right? So
and that's it. It's for views. It's for clicks.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the newspaper and the TV channels. They do stories for clicks. So how did they get there?
Yeah.
How did they get the message to be at that location at that time?
Right.
And that's where we need to use the technology aspect of it to be able to infiltrate that, to understand where they're going to be at so we can take that proactive approach. But again, we can provide them a location where they can still get their clicks and their video in a safe manner outside of the public where they're not going to get hurt. And that's something that I would try to push for.
What about pits?
What is a pit?
Pit maneuver, precision, immobilization technique. I don't know if the county ever had that.
County had it back in the day.
Yeah.
And a lot of times what I was seeing in my old department, and I don't want to say my old department, when I was there was a lot of times we managed by crisis. When something will occur, it was a immediate reaction wasn't always the best reaction. I think that the pit maneuver is a maneuver that can be used as long as it's trained. You're trained in it and you know how to use it properly.
Yeah. To
stop an individual if you're chasing him, it has to be a violent felon.
Right.
So to stop a violent felon from getting away or possibly hurting a innocent civilian. I don't know how many times I would see a chase where the innocent family or innocent person will get hurt or will get killed.
Yeah.
You need to use the tools that you have in your training in order to stop that.
Yeah, so I agree with that. There has to be a threshold as to when you can chase, and as we call it, balls to the wall, where it's like, no, we're chasing them till the wheels fall off because this is a homicide offender, because
Right.
this is a carjacking offender, and the crime meets the criteria. However, these guys that are out there, they're running every night from the cops. And that's what irks, right? So we're left as a law enforcement with limited tools when we get to a situation like this. Do you have the can you pull up the grappler?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on my IG, or if you can, please.
But Nick, what's the message that's being put out? Oh, we're not going to chase.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to be soft. We need to do it. We can't do that. It's law and order.
Right.
We're not going to allow this, and we're going to take actions to prevent it. And when that message gets out, these incidents will stop.
Yeah, we have to definitely, like they promote, we have to promote.
Correct.
Once got on the flatbed behind us. Hey, take a look at your car. Don't do this in my county.
Correct.
That's huge. There's just a, and you've been out there on the road. There's that problem that we have, is the ability to either contain, stop, immobilize those vehicles, because, like you said, they're just going to run.
And again, that's where experience comes into play.
Yeah.
And that's why I keep on saying that experience does matter. For me, it's not just a slogan. I did it as an officer. I did it as a sergeant. I did it as a lieutenant. I did it as a captain. I did it as a major.
Mm-hmm.
So not only was I involved, like other candidates will tell you, I did all these specialized units. Yeah, I did them all as an officer.
Yeah.
But I also led those specialized units. And that's with that experience, it's how we're going to resolve these issues.
Okay. I like it. Anything, you can go to YouTube.
I'm here.
You
Just
got
have
it?
to look at, yeah.
Yeah. So I have, there's a tool, and I'm not sponsored. This is not sponsored by the tool, but I just see it as a resource, and not a lot of agencies know it. Locally, Hollywood Police Department, they deployed, they upfitted a couple of their vehicles. It's called the Grappler, right? So
I saw it. Yeah, I saw the video.
it was an armed robbery.
Right, and it ties up the wheel.
Yeah.
Correct.
Let's get some of those.
Listen, if we have a
Look, there you go, right there.
if we have a technology that's going to help us keep the community safe, that's 100% something we need to look at to see how much it costs and how much and how we can incorporate it.
Yeah, you see how it goes on the front, has a little fork that comes out,
Right.
deployed, and then you can untether the string. So if you're taking rounds, you can untether, just reverse out of there. But this thing here, it seems as though the threshold doesn't need to be as high as homicide, robbery, because you tether to the vehicle. It's not going to spin. It just goes to the back wheel and grabs on, and it's stopped right there. So it seems like that middle ground that we're missing, right? So pit maneuver, you spin it, it might hit a bus bench that people are on.
It might kill the bad person.
It might kill the bad person. They're going to flip, right? So it has to be very precise. If you don't hit it correct, it might knock it off course and go flying. So there's a lot to, boom, right on the back, little kiss on the butt, boom, and now you get over here. You ever seen the Mortal Kombat? Boom, it's tethered. Something to think about. Not sponsored, okay? But I just
listen, this is where technology can come into play, but from someone who's been in car chases,
yeah,
it's very hard to get that close to the car getting away to be able to do that.
Yes.
So it's not a guaranteed tool that just because we have it means that we're going to stop every single chase.
Right.
It's a tool that we could use.
Exactly.